So before we get started, let's talk about some basic tools that are going to help the build process be a little bit more pleasant and just make sure that you have the right tools for the job. So some of the most important stuff that I used during the build are, one, having a good set of files. Some of the parts, depending on what material you print with from the Shapeways store, are going to come and need a bit of filing, and in each of the videos targeted at that part in the build process, I'll talk to you about what I find the best method for getting parts to fit well is. But having a nice set of different shaped files can really help. In this case, you know, a file with a curved edge, a file with a flat edge, and this rounded pointy file also really helps quite a lot. I bought these off of Amazon for really cheap. So another thing that's going to help out quite a bit is having a nice set of precision screwdrivers. There's a couple of small screws involved in the build, and so having a screwdriver with a small diameter can really help. Having a pair of digital calipers is also helpful in taking measurements and being able to take some of the guesswork out of when you're sanding parts and trying to make sure that they fit exactly right. Being able to take a measurement can speed that process along. Having a good pair of needle nose pliers that you trust also helps during the build process. And speaking of, having a set of, or at least one pair of ESD safe tweezers is going to be necessary for some of the soldering in tighter spaces and for fishing some of the wires through the wire channels. So again, I got these off of Amazon for relatively cheap, so not a big issue. The soldering for the build is not necessarily expert level. There's definitely some chassis kits out there that are much more involved and require a lot more skill, but this also isn't really a beginner build. There's definitely a need to be comfortable soldering in tight spaces and just having the right tools for the job again. So a pair of helping hands is absolutely necessary, maybe even two pairs of helping hands. That's really going to help out quite a lot. And then also in terms of getting things soldered well, you're going to want to make sure that you have a good way of cleaning the tip on your soldering iron. Just good habit to be using a tip tinner and a tip cleaner. Every couple of joints that you solder, clean the tip, re-tin it, and that's going to make your life way less frustrating. You'll find things solder much more easily. You're also going to see in the build videos that I use a PCB holder quite a lot in addition to the helping hands, so that's something else to consider getting as well. Again, off of Amazon, relatively cheap, and can help out quite a lot. Because we are dealing with a very high drain battery, you want to make sure that you don't have any shorts and that your wiring is correct. So having a multimeter is going to be essential. There's several points during the project that we'll check our work using a multimeter, so you want to make sure that you've got that as well.